to Portland, Oregon. Pretty nice day by all things considered this time of year up here in Oregon. And it is time for WCC This Week. The Chiles Center will be home to our game, which is coming up at the top of the hour between Pepperdine and Portland. My name is Wolfe alongside the coach, Dan Belluomini. And, Coach, we've got a matchup between two teams that have already seen each other this year. Pepperdine was able to get the win back on January 5th. What do you make of the rematch now that it's here in Portland?
Well, I think it's going to be a very good rematch, Ari. Certainly, you've got two teams that were struggling to win a game. And Portland played great here Thursday night against LMU, shot the ball well. Pepperdine's trying to get on track. Remember, though, young Pepperdine team. Marty Wilson really feels that this is a team that will finish strong. But this is a winnable game for Pepperdine, but they're going to have to defend well, and they're going to have to get Baker involved and get Davis to score big like he did against Gonzaga.
Yeah, let's take a look at this matchup. To take a look at the stats, you know, both these teams would like to have a better record, but they're tied at that conference mark of 2-8. And for both these teams, they really just want to get a win.
Well, obviously. So when you've got two teams that are struggling a little bit, what you got to do is kind of shore it up defensively. Eric Revenel loved the way his team played on Thursday. Don't forget, Portland plays well at home. They've not been a good road team. Pepperdine is a team with quickness that is coming on. So it's a good matchup. Lauren Jackson could have a big game for Pepperdine. They need their guards to dominate this game if the Waves are going to win.
All right, let's first focus on the Pilots, and their best player is Ryan Nicholas. He was their leading scorer a year ago, and he is playing very well, coming off maybe his best game of the season.
Well, obviously, when you don't miss a free, and that's exactly what Nicholas did. He was 5 for 5 from 3. You're in pretty good shape. And he's an active guy. He's like about 6'7", 6'7 and a half. Very good rebounder. But if the Pilots can't get inside and outside scoring from Nicholas, they've got some issues because they don't have a lot of other guys to go to. So Nicholas is key, and if he plays like he did against LMU, Ari, they're in pretty good shape.
All right, Coach, now we're going to new age media, social media. Coach Marty Wilson for Pepperdine during the game Thursday had a tweet to let everybody know why Jordan Baker wasn't playing in the second half. Give us your take on it.
Well, I think it's great. I think social media is where it is. The fans want to know, and this is a direct link to the fans. And if the coach is savvy enough, let's face it, not all of them are, but if Marty Wilson, and he is savvy enough to give a tweet to know, let everybody know how his players are, well, you know, more power to him.
I like it as well. And here's the coach's take on his decision on Thursday night.
Mainly for me, I want to communicate to our Pepperdine fans, to the Pepperdine followers on what's going on within, so they can kind of see a closer or get a closer view of what's going on with the program. Mainly, my main idea was to let people know that it's not as important for us to try to win that game, which is going to be a challenging game anyway, but to make sure that we protect our players and make sure that they're healthy. Jordan Baker's day-to-day. We don't know how much he's going to play today. I'm going to watch him in the rest of warm-ups and kind of get a feel, talk to our trainer and see how he goes. And then part of it's based on how he plays. If he's playing loose and free and athletic and aggressive, then we're excited about what he's capable of doing.
Smoothest player in the WCC.
Well, I really like Jordan's game. I liked him right when he stepped on campus last year. So Baker can score outside. Look at him break the defense down. He's got the great vision. He can find players. But what I really like about him, Ori, he's really quick and active in the open court. So he is a guy you have to defend, and let's hope he's 100%. I mean, when you have a bad back, I can tell you, I mean, it's really difficult to go. So sat out that Gonzaga game, only played maybe part of the first half. You don't want to ruin him for the whole year. But I talked to him yesterday. He feels good. He said, I'm going to try to get it loose. Let's see if I can go. And if they can get Baker going, you know, the Waves could be in good shape.
They certainly could be. All right, let's look big picture now. We're going to talk with the Portland Athletic Director, Scott Leykam. And Scott, let's talk about TV first of all. Talk about putting together this package. This game will be seen on many different networks throughout the western part of the United States. Talk about getting the proper exposure for this conference in this university.
You know, and sitting next to Dan, it's funny to be on the other side after, you know, coordinating these contracts from the conference office the last 4 years. So this is great exposure for us. In addition to the national partnership, I think we have 13 of our 16 conference games on TV this year, and that's, Dan, you know from your experience, that's something you take into a recruit's living room on a regular basis.
You know, Scott, as a first-time athletic director, this is a beautiful place. I haven't been here in a long time, and what you've done facility-wise, not only the Child Center, but talk about the weight room, all the things that are going on here at Portland.
No, it's been a terrific 6 to 9 months for us with the Childs Family Foundation and Earl Childs, who built this building 28 years ago. And the one thing we hear from a lot of folks is this building has held up very well. And now the next phase for us was a multi-million-dollar project that redid our training room, redid our weight room, redid our men's basketball locker room and offices, in addition to soccer locker rooms, baseball, track, and really is something that benefited all 280 of our student athletes.
Scott, let's talk a little bit about expansion, Pacific coming back to the WCC. Talk about what you think of Pacific coming back in the future of the WCC.
Well, I think Pacific, for one thing, brings a school that was a great member of this conference for a long time, and now that they don't have football, frankly, are a very good fit. You know, the funny thing is, when I started at the conference 4 or 5 years ago, you talked about expansion once a month. Now you talk about it every day. But, you know, the other thing Pacific brings is logistically will bring some stability to travel. Our travel costs have been up across the board with playing at home on a Thursday and road on a Saturday. Our women's basketball team, 3 different times this year, played in the Bay Area on Thursday and then Southern California on Saturday. That adds up. So to have 4 teams in Northern California will help.
Scott, we very much appreciate the time. I wish you the best of luck here in Portland.
Good to see you again, Dan. Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a break. Coach and I are going to take a bit of a breather. When we come back, we're going to go down to Southern California, and we're going to head to our studios and hear from Chris McGee and Dave Miller, who will get you caught up on all the action from West Coast Conference play.
Welcome back to WCC This Week in Los Angeles. I'm Chris McGee alongside the coach, Dave Miller. Coach, are you ready to get to the conference highlights from earlier in the week?
I love highlights with you, Chris McGee. Let's do it.
Roll them. Here we go. Pepperdine taking on Gonzaga. Kelly Olynyk and the Bulldogs taking on Pepperdine at home. Check out this guy doing the Carlton dance. Fuego. First half, Kevin Pangos. He's solid. Pull up, three-pointer.
Walk up 3, picture-perfect form. Zags up 5-0.
Gonzaga starting off hot. Gary Bell Jr. Ring it! Gonzaga up 10-0.
I love the way he stays spaced with that 3.
Olynyk doing more than just scoring right here. The dish. Sam Dower for the jam. Gonzaga up 14-2.
Dower getting his Darryl Dawkins on.
Later in the first half, Olynyk leaves it for Bell Jr. Again, he hits the 3. Zags up 13. Still in the first. I want him on my fantasy team. Pangos, three-pointer. Got it. 14 points in the game.
I want that whole team. 3 passes. No one needs to dribble.
More good ball movement as stock continues to rise. Olynyk. Gonzaga up 17. Later in the second half, transition. Pangos. Olynyk. Layup. Gonzaga wins 82-56. Olynyk, 13 points. 2 hot teams facing off. St. Mary's taking on Santa Clara. First half, St. Mary's up 6. Matthew Dellavedova finds Bo Levesque. Got it.
Great spacing. Love the catch and shoot. Feet were set.
Sharing the ball well later in the first. Bono's 3s. Got it. Getting the kind roll.
Shooter's touch. I love the way they share the basketball. Swing, swing.
Just over 5 minutes left, first half. Kevin Foster drives, gets the bucket. Nash's alma mater down 11. Jordan Page now with the layup. We go the other way. St. Mary's by 7 at the half. Second half we go. St. Mary's up 15. Dellavedova. Brad Waldow under the basket. He gets the layup.
Where's Waldo? There he is.
Later in the second, St. Mary's up 18. Levesque hits the 3. St. Mary's wins the game 84-63. BYU taking on San Diego in San Diego. BYU looking for their 4th straight win. First half, BYU steal. Tyler Haas. He's going streaking. Dunk the other way, 18-10 Cougars.
Love Carlino's active hands. Hal's got some bounce to his ounce.
Still in the first half, Johnny D, the floater, tied at 20.
Love the teardrop. He competes from the baseline.
Second half, more Toreros. Matt Damon said it. Do it for Johnny. 3. USD up 7. 4 minutes to play. BYU down. Haas, the and one, makes the free throw. Cougars down just 2. D from way downtown.
Oh, he shot that from Mission Beach, Chris. That wasn't downtown.
Toreros with a big win over BYU 74-68. Ryan Nicholas had 21 points as Portland beats LMU 69-60 on Thursday night. Portland thrived behind the arc, going 11 for 16 as a team. Anthony Ireland led LMU with 21 points. Portland used a late 9-2 run to pull away and snap a 6-game losing streak. Here's what the conference standings look like. San Diego with the upset. They are moving up in the rankings. St. Mary's at 9-1, Gonzaga at 9-0. They will play on Valentine's Day night. The Zags 22-2 overall. Coach, what stood out to you midweek in the WCC?
Well, it's the team defense that I've seen Gonzaga play. This is a team that's extremely well coached. They're balanced on offense, but they play 5 as a unit, 5 on a string. They're active. They get on the floor. They're going to get all the 50-50 balls. You see them. They play out of a stance, and they're able to tip from behind. That's about effort. Right here, the ball goes inside. Again, Olynyk, their big, comes up with it. Here, active hands produce turnovers. This is a team that has a chance to make a deep tournament run because they love to play defense. They get out, they guard the ball, and they come up with loose balls. That's a sign of a team that has active hands and live feet.
Yeah, number 6 in the country. Full slate of games today, Coach. Which one are you most looking forward to and why?
Well, I think San Francisco at BYU interests me, and I really want to watch Matt Carlino. This is a guard that makes that BYU transition run. He really trusts his big in Davies. He's a pesky defender, and he always seems to be able to find his sharpshooter, Tyler Haws. That's something that you get when you have good basketball IQ. Don't doubt him, though. He can catch and shoot to keep the defense honest. He's a true leader, and that's why he was named the WCC Player of the Week.
Yeah, BYU got 2 wins, and he was absolutely on fire. All right, the game of the week, Pepperdine at Portland. What will you be keeping your eye on in this one?
You know, Lauren Jackson intrigued me after we did that special on him. He's a fifth-year senior that plays the point, but is more in 2 that can score. He does a great job finding the open man. He likes to keep it simple, but also defensively, he'll push it and he can drop a dime on time, on target. He also has a skilled mid-range game. Very few young players want to use the backboard. Someone's taught him that the backboard is his friend. He's certainly a leader on the court, but after last week, I know he's a leader off the court. I'd love to coach a guard like him.
Yeah, such a great story. All right, Coach, great job right there. Coming up, behind-the-scenes look at Portland's junior forward, Ryan Nicholas. What advice did he get that will keep him out of law school? We're coming right back. WCC This Week. This from Monday, unreal finish. USD LMU, just under 6 seconds. Anthony Ireland misses the front end of 101. Here comes Christopher Anderson all the way, and the layup counts. USD wins, Coach.
What an unbelievable play. He knows time and score, but wait, what makes this shot go in? He keeps his chin on the rim, never loses sight of the square.
San Diego wins 69-68. Christopher Anderson, what a finish. Steve Kerr may be a former Arizona Wildcat, but he was watching WCC Hoops Monday. Kerr tweeted, Chris Anderson goes coast to coast with a highlight reel finish. USD wins at the buzzer. SportsCenter Top 10, it's gotta be. Gonzaga redshirt junior center Kelly Olynyk is the West Coast Conference Player of the Month for January. Olynyk averaged just over 21 points per game, grabbed 7.5 rebounds while shooting just over 64% from the field. He led the Bulldogs to an 8-1 record in January. Portland junior forward Ryan Nicholas grew up in Spokane, Washington, in the shadows of Gonzaga University. But there were no Dan Dickow or Adam Morrison posters on his wall as he agreed to a scholarship with the Pilots his junior year. But Nicholas isn't ready for his basketball career to end in a Portland uniform.
I'm Ryan Nicholas, a junior forward at the University of Portland from Spokane, Washington.
Gotta eat, baby. Inside down to Nicholas. Nicholas tries it himself, and he gets it to roll.
As early as I could get a ball. I remember I saw a picture of myself when I was like 3, my first Christmas present, you know, a little Nerf hoop, and me shooting on it, and it started early. Football, but just for 2 years, freshman, sophomore year of high school, and it didn't last long because I was a quarterback, and we ran the option every play. And if in the option, you either get hit because you keep the ball, or you get hit because you pitch it. I was a 6'7", you know, option quarterback getting hit in the knees every play. So I was like, I'm either gonna have a short career in football or decide to play basketball. So I chose basketball and hung up the cleats. I wanted to play in college from my freshman year. I didn't know, like, if I could at that point, but I was like, that's my goal and my dream. You know, it was a decision pretty early in high school. It was like my junior year, and I visited the campus for a camp, and at the end of the camp, they offered me, it was on, you know, it was a program on the rise with a couple of 21 seasons in a row. So I kind of wanted to be a part of that. The community, I think the University of Portland's kind of, and a lot of schools in the conference, they're known for little tight-knit communities. It's huge. I mean, especially with such a long season and the grind, just having a community that's supporting you, it's pretty big. The Commons, it's our cafeteria. Our team hangs out quite a bit on campus, so we usually go together, and the food there is just amazing. I mean, you can have steak, salmon, and shrimp if you want every night, and it's kind of neat. My dad comes up for quite a few games. His business allows him to not take the winters off, but work a lot more in the summers so he can come down. So he comes down for quite a few of them, and luckily a lot of them are on TV or online, so mom and relatives see all of them. Upbeat and lively, energetic. I try to set the tone, set the tempo, you know, encouraging, keeping the spirits up, and I think that's just something I try to do. It's something you can control every single day.
He really prides himself on being a good teammate and being a good captain for our basketball team. He's a hard worker, which is obvious by his improvement year in, year out, but how much he cares about his teammates and how he wants the whole group and individuals to be successful is pretty impressive.
The basket, hook up and in. We said he was the leader of the team, and tonight he certainly is all that.
He's done this too. So when he's talking about the grind and talking about how to do things right, I can say, okay, well, he's not joking. He's done this. He's not, you know, just saying it. As a big man, I can even relate even more to him. If you look at it, like, you know, got rocked by Kentucky at Kentucky, but when you look into perspective, there's 30-plus games in a season. That was one of them. How many people win at Kentucky? In that kind of context, you got to kind of think, what did we learn from it? Did we get better from playing them so that we can play, you know, better against Pepperdine, so we can play against, you know, San Diego, so we can play against Gonzaga? Did that help us for later? And that's kind of how we try to look at it. I'd love to play overseas and, you know, continue playing, but when I can't play anymore, I'll go to law school and try to be a lawyer.
Nicholas just working so hard. I mean, just a blue-collar worker trying to make something happen.
I actually talked to Ethan Niedermeyer, and he said that he stopped playing early and went to law school, actually. And he said, no, don't do that. He was really adamant that if you have a chance to keep playing, keep playing. And that kind of, you know, in my mind was like, he's trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do. So I think if I have a chance to play, I'll play for sure.
Stuff right there. Quick look at the WCC Game of the Week schedule. This week, it's Pepperdine at Portland. Next week, Gonzaga facing the Dons of San Francisco. And Coach, Ryan Nicholas, just a great story. He's a hard-working young man and a solid basketball player.
Well, he's just another great representative of the WCC conference. He's a no-nonsense 6'7" power forward. And when I've watched him play, he really does remind me of his coach, Eric Reveneau, that used to play at Stanford. He's tough. He's got a high basketball IQ. He's very skilled. He can play inside. He can play outside. He really likes to pick and pop. And then when you close out on him, he has the ability to shot fake, get you up in the air, and put it on the floor. He's a deceptive driver, but he certainly is a winner, and I just like his attitude that he leads by his actions on the floor.
That's it for me and Coach. We'll get you back to Portland after the break. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Welcome back to Portland. That is the Hawthorne Bridge. It is the WCC Game of the Week coming up at the top of the hour. Pepperdine versus Portland. This is WCC This Week. Now, just a few moments ago, I got a chance to talk with the Portland head coach, Eric Reveneau, and we talked about his key guy, Ryan Nicholas.
Ryan's always meant a tremendous amount to our program because he brings it every day in practice, plays so hard. You know, you can speak to like his 19 rebound performance against UNLV. But yeah, yes, the other night was special for him because he's worked hard on his perimeter game and he shot 5 for 5. It really begs the question, why wasn't his coach getting him more shots? He was 5 for 5 from 3, and you think, shoot, why can't they get him more shots? So no, he's doing a great job.
Talk about the confidence-building performance from the other night, making 11 three-point shots, because I know as a coach it makes it a lot easier when those shots go down.
Yeah, no, we've been a very good defensive team this year, and that, to me, shows the team's commitment to what you're trying to do and playing for each other and selflessly. Offensively, we have struggled at times. And the other night when shots start falling, it really boosts everyone's confidence. And what we've got to try to remember is the reason they fell is because we were moving the ball better. You know, inside, outside, moving around the perimeter, just sharing it. Not making the team guard for that long a time, but make them guard a little bit and move the ball a little bit.
Talk about the development of some of your younger players.
You know, our younger guys have done a great job of just really trying to get better every day. Bryce Presley, Jake Ehlers, even Dave Ahern and Oscar Reinfeldt. Oscar and Bryce in particular have been in some had big games for us at the wing position, guard wing position, and scoring the ball. And they really make each other better and make their teammates better, moving the ball. Jake coming in at the 4 spot, subbing Ryan in a little bit, also gets the ball moving and helps us out offensively. So, you know, freshman year, they talk about redshirt year and the value of that. There's a lot to be said for learning in the trenches and battling, and that's what those guys are doing.
Coach, very quickly, tell me about what you guys learned from your first game against Pepperdine and some of the keys today for you guys to get a win.
It's good to have your best players, is what I learned from the first time. We didn't have Kevin Bailey because he was out with his nose being reconstructive surgery on his nose. David Carr lost him when we were up 8 with an ACL injury, lost him for the season, and we recoiled from that. From a basketball standpoint, kind of the stuff we've been learning, we're good when we get out in transition. Against Pepperdine, we were able to get out and get in transition, get some easy baskets, get a lead. Then when the pressure was on, we got stagnant. So we've got to stay aggressive, ebb and flow of the game. We've got to defend and get out and go.
Our thanks to Coach for spending some time with us. All right, to this, Coach, as we get set for this game, what are some of the things you're looking most forward to in this matchup?
Well, first of all, Ari, this is going to be a competitive game. Don't forget the first time they played, Ari, very close game. Pepperdine came from 7-8-10 back in the second half to win it. So you've got Jordan Baker. Is he going to be 100%? You know, Ryan Nicholas, is he going to shoot the ball from the perimeter? I think it can be a very good basketball game. I'm just looking forward to a competitive game.
I think we're going to have a great time, so do not go anywhere. We're going to come back after this break, and we will have our matchup. Pepperdine taking on Portland. Thanks for watching WCC This Week. We're coming back with the WCC Game of the Week. We'll be right back.